All right, friends, did you know iron deficiency is the #1 nutrient deficiency worldwide? We've got health expert Bryce Wylde. It's been a minute. So great he's here to chat about it. In case it's affecting you, it certainly affects me. Bryce, it's so good to see you. How are you?
So great to see you and be with you guys this morning, Dean. I'm amazing. Thank you. I just arrived back from sunny California. Spent a week there at one of the biggest trade shows annually in the world of natural health and food and beverage. So I'm kind of still a little bit frazzled. I lost 4 hours traveling
Oh,
back. We've already lost an hour at the
oh,
time change plus 3 with the time zone. So maybe my iron's a little low right now. I don't know, but I do understand you and the fact that you have anemia, you're overt with that, or you're taking iron
yes.
at least to sort of cover that. This is a problem. North of 40, we talk a lot about vitamin D, but this is an essential mineral that a lot of us need. Many of us, we're only getting about 8 milligrams through our diet daily. That's on average, even here in North America, but we should be getting 20 milligrams. And of course, as you know, this can cause, hair loss, significant, energy dysfunction, even cognitive dysfunction, brittle nails.
Hmm.
This can often be a problem. And by the way, this is not just menstrual females, people with their periods that succumb to anemia. When you have a heavy period, this is athletes. These are individuals born, in fact, young children born to mothers with anemia. So it's a wide variety of individuals who actually have iron deficiency anemia. But maybe let me bring it right back to a quick biology 101. At the end of the day, this story is all about red blood cells, all right? And the inability for them to attach oxygen, that's their job, deliver oxygen throughout the system, oxygenate your brain, your heart, all the vital organs. But when your hemoglobin, this is the iron-centered protein within your red blood cells, when your hemoglobin is low, you can't carry that oxygen around. And so often the story of the reason why it's low is because iron is low.
Hmm. The fatigue was there for me, the hair loss. Sometimes you get dark circles under the eyes, right? Because of the oxygen levels, as you mentioned. And in kids and in little ones, you have to treat it because otherwise what could happen? If someone thinks, so what? I'm low in iron. What could happen?
No, I mean, you end up with significant cardiovascular deficiencies. That is to say, palpitations, weakness. I mean, your heart's a big muscle. It needs to be fueled and fed with those red blood cells I alluded to, with the rich amount of oxygen in them. Otherwise, it starts to fail. Cognitive decline. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Many of these cases are actually iron deficiencies. We're not checking children as often as we should. It's so easy to sort of get the idea of looking underneath your eyelid here to see if that's a pink color. If it's a very pale, anemic, whitish color, you want to maybe get your child checked. I mean, it's a little invasive to have a whole blood draw, and children don't like that. We don't like doing that to them, which is hard to keep the literal finger on the pulse. So there's other ways to look. You do one of those checks. You do a cognitive, health history. Energy, again, is such a big factor. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things I think more of us should be checking with our family doctors.
And, they might be picky eaters. Maybe they're not eating red meats. It's hard to find it in foods. And you said it could actually affect, like, their size. So oftentimes they'll be shorter in stature.
Stunted growth, absolutely. These are often children born to mothers with themselves who have had anemia. It's something actually to keep in mind as well. This is a paradoxical effect. You can have a history of heavy menstrual cycles, which can cause anemia, but paradoxically, anemia can cause heavy menstrual cycles. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. So when you're pregnant for those 9 months, you deliver, hopefully on term. This child because you've had anemia, heavy periods leading to anemia, this child is often born into this world anemic, and as you're pointing out, could set them up for a low birth weight, and a failure to thrive, as we describe it.
So how do we treat it then? Because I know there's liquid supplements, there's the vitamin pill form, and there's different kinds. Some might actually like gunk somebody up and make them constipated. There's different types out there.
Oh, iron oxide, iron sulfate, iron citrate. There's so many different kinds out there. And as you just mentioned, the biggest problem is it often constipates. And certainly children have a problem, with the taste and flavor of a lot of these things. I'm going to share with you the intel inside, because that's what it's all about. Here's some good examples of a wide variety of irons on the market. Okay, so all of these are great brands, but what they share in common, by the way, this one here, Kidstar, look for that for children, comes in 10 milligram chewables or even the liquid, easy to digest. The intel inside, as I like to refer to it, the thing you want to look at on the label is called ferric pyrophosphate. I know it's a long term, it's worth remembering, otherwise known as sun active iron. This is so gentle on the stomach. And another thing about it is when it's micronized, that means it's put into these tiny little sort of phospholipid layers. Micronization allows it to be ingested much more bioavailable or easily used by the body without any of the disturbance to the gut. And also, a lot of iron products out there, certainly the liquids, will stain your teeth, Dina.
Oh, good to know. You also say do not eat dairy with it because it inhibits the absorption.
Absolutely, yeah. Any cheese, dairy, yogurt, milk taken within proximity of about a half an hour is going to reduce the absorption of your iron supplement. Here's an interesting fact, by the way. This is when it gets very quite, intense. Your anemia is something you want to definitely look at or look into. It's called pica, P-I-C-A. If you experience the desire to chew ice, or for that matter, for some reason, clay looks appetizing to you, soil or dirt, which is very common in children as well, by the way. It's one of those signs you want to think, my child's asking for ice to chew on, or they're putting clay or dirt in their mouth. Looking into anemia, the test you want to look at, not just hemoglobin, when you ask your doctor to look at ferritin, and that sort of is an iron over time, over an average over the last 3 months or so. Most women are walking around with a ferritin level in the teens or less. That's anemia. You want to see more than 40 to walk around with that vibrant state of health and wellness we all desire.
Bryce, you're wonderful. We've run out of time, but this was so important. For more information, follow Bryce on Instagram at @WyldeOnHealth. Could you say that ingredient one more time? It was the
ferric pyrophosphate. Yeah, pyro, think of it like affinity towards starting fires, P-Y-R-O, phosphate, ferric pyrophosphate in a micronized form. Absolutely. Natural Factors carries it. Kidstar Nutrition, Lorna Vanderheg, all these different brands have the intel inside that you want to look for.
You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Great as always, Bryce.
Thank you, Dina.